Today I'm going to be talking about my anticipated 2018 reads that I have. I'll be featuring some of the books that I really look forward to reading. It's not an all-inclusive list. My goal that I've set for myself to read in 2018 is to read 52 books, which is about a book a week. And I think that's pretty feasible for me. So last year I read 66 books, so hopefully, it'll be more than my goal of 52 or higher. That would make me very happy. So without further ado, I'm gonna just jump right in there and get started with that 2018 anticipated read. These two books here are by Pierce Brown, and I read the first one called Red Rising, and it was just really good. It's about this society or this culture that is distinguished by color, and gold is the highest of the society, and then red is the lowest, and they're very oppressed. And this one man, he infiltrates the gold political system, so it's highly political. It has epic battles. It's just so good. I cannot wait to read the second book. And I have the third book, Golden Sun, and the third book, The Morning Star. I hope that both of these are just as good. I've heard nothing but good. These get such high ratings on Goodreads. I think they get like a 4.6 or higher for each of the books. So these are by Pierce Brown. There's 3 books in the series. I heard that he's having a 4th one to come out, which is even more exciting. Okay, so we have The Maze Runner by James Dashner, and I'm really looking forward to reading this. This was actually recommended by one of my nieces and nephews, and they said it was really good. I haven't watched the movie either, but I heard that the movie was not the greatest, that it was better to read the book, of course. And so I'm guessing it's about these young men who, if they want to escape, they have to go through this maze. I don't know, but then a young girl shows up and she has this message. At least that's what it said in the synopsis. So I'm really looking forward to reading The Maze Runner. I know that there's other books in this series too that are supposed to be really good to read, so we can add those to my to be read list. I have the first 2 books in this series, Immortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. These are supposed to be really good. The first one is City of Bones, and then the second one is The City of Ashes, and I'm really looking forward to reading them. To be honest with you, I don't know anything about them, but I've heard that they're really good, and I look forward to reading them. I think there's like one other in the series, but she has a lot of different series, so I've heard nothing but good, and I can't wait to read them. Right here we have a book that's by Anne Bishop, and this is the second in a series. This is a novel about what's called The Others, and Anne Bishop is really good about creating this world that is definitely fantasy and magical. There's magical creatures like wolves. There's vampires. They are in coexistence together, and so she does a really good job about being very descriptive about that. But anyways, this young woman here, she is not an other. She actually has a special ability where she has to cut herself, and then when she does that, she can see the future. So she's very rare, very much in demand. She was actually held captive, but she escaped and she came to the Others, which is a different kind of city or culture. It's just really kind of hard to explain unless you read the book. And the first book is called Written in Red. This one is called Murder of Crows. There's some mystery, intrigue. Like I said, Anne Bishop is just really exceptional about describing these worlds that these people live in, and I just really liked it. And there's like 1 or 2 other books that are in the series that I want to read also after this one. Alright, so we have The Red Queen here by Victoria Aveyard, and I just started reading this. This is about a family who are reds, and that's the color of their blood. It's just kind of weird. And then Mary, M-A-R-E, she's the main girl. She finds out she has some magical powers, and stuff just kind of happens after that. But Silver, they have, I guess, like powers that are godlike, and the red are servants and are oppressed by the silver, and so Mary has to go through how she has these powers that she's not supposed to have. So it sounds really good. Like I said, I just started reading it. It's really good, and yeah, There's a few more books in this series that I want to get a hold of too that I'll be reading in 2018. So I also want to read these two books. This is a duology. The first one is The Six of Crows. The second one is The Crooked Kingdom. And these are by Leigh Bardugo. And I really look forward to reading these books. I've heard nothing but good. On Goodreads, they get a 4.6 out of 5 stars, which is amazing for Goodreads. And the books are just absolutely beautiful. They have like the red and the black on the edges of the pages. The covers are just crazy good. I just had to buy them. They're just absolutely beautiful. They are supposed to be a group of 6 young people who are attempting to do an impossible heist. And I think it has magic. So I think it's fantasy. I think it's mystery. I think they're trying to do something that's impossible, these young people, but we shall see what happens. Next up we have Court of Thorn and Roses, and this is the first book in this series. It's written by Sarah J. Maas. It's supposed to be a really, really good young adult fantasy. I know Sarah J. Maas is great about building worlds and being very descriptive and helping you to imagine that you were there while whatever's going on is going on. But I really, really look forward to reading her books. I read the first book in the Throne of Glass series and I really love that. So I have like 2 series to read. Of course, I have to read the rest of the Throne of Glass series and then I want to read this. And I think there's a couple more books in this series that I have yet to get. But the second book is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and this is the second book in the series. I think she names them like to where it's really hard to say because Court of Mist and Fury, you have to say slow. That was really hard to say. And then Court of Thorn and Roses. Say that fast 10 times. So here we have the 4th book in the Lunar Chronicles series, and this one is Winter. This is going to be about the princess Snow White. Marissa Myers wrote the Lunar Chronicles. There's 4 books in the series, and each book represents a specific fairy tale princess. This one, of course, has Snow White. It is just so good. There's magic, there's science fiction, there's fantasy, there's a little bit of romance. It's a young adult, like I said, science fiction fantasy, and you'll just love it. I have loved every single one of these books, and I cannot wait to read this 4th book. All right, here we have The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest. This is the 3rd book in the series of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. It's written by Stieg Larsson, and the first 2 books I read about 2-3 years ago, they were just incredible, but I could never really get my hands on this book. For some reason, it just was not the right time for me to buy it, or I just didn't have the opportunity to purchase it. But now that I have it, I am really, really looking forward to this. The main character is Lisbeth, and she's a really young woman who is judged by how she looks. She has a mohawk, she has piercings, she has tats, and people just don't see how intelligent they are, how intelligent she is. They just can't look beyond what she looks like and get to know how smart she is. She's a computer hacker. She knows technology inside and out. She's just really, really intelligent. I really like her as a character. I really like how Stieg Larsson wrote her and the people that she connects with and how they misinterpret how she is. She's such a great person. So if you really want to read how people are stereotyped, a great example is with this book. But then people are so superficial and they're not really looking at what's on the inside of the person. They're looking at what's on the outside. Not that I'm saying that a mohawk and tats and piercing is bad. It's not bad, but people do tend to stereotype each other. So anyways, read the books. It's really, really good, and I am just really looking forward to reading more about Lisbeth in this 3rd book in the series. And then we have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood, The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And I'm really looking forward to reading this. I have not watched the TV series, so I don't know if I will or not because I don't really watch like too much TV. But I heard the book was really, really good. It's like set in the not too distant future about how women were, I don't know, it's kind of weird to explain, how women were used just so that they could have babies. Things change as far as that goes. But that's all I know, really. So I am really looking forward to reading this. and probably like not being happy about how society is going. And probably happy that we live in the world that we live in today. This is Jemina, and this is by Anne Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. And the first book in this series was Illuminae, and I really, really like that book. It's a young adult science fiction space opera. The battles are just crazy huge in the books. It's written kind of different. It has like corporate letters and memos. It goes really, really fast, and I heard that Jemina was just as good as the Illuminae, so I am really, really looking forward to reading this. Here we have the Walking Dead series, and for those of you who want to get to know me a little better, I am definitely a Walking Dead television series fan. Well, I found out that they had these really, really good books. They're best-selling on the New York Times. They're best-selling series. And this is actually, if you know anything about The Walking Dead, this is actually the part where they are in Woodbury with the governor and stuff happens. So Walking Dead is one of my favorite series. I do actually like to read books about zombies. I've read a couple, and so far they're really good in the past, and so I'm really, really looking forward to reading this series. There's 4 books. They're by Robert Kirkman and Jay Bonansinga. Yeah, it's kind of right there. But anyways, I'm excited to read these series. My husband actually got these for me because he knows we're both really big fans of the Walking Dead series, so I look forward to reading these books in 2018. And there you have it. That is some of the books that I want to read in 2018. Let me know in your comments below what some of yours will be. And if you want to buddy read any of those, if you're interested, let me know that. So that maybe we can kind of schedule around that and kind of plan out like when to read those books. But I look forward to reading all of those. I look forward to adding more to my to be read 2018 list. Like my channel if you can, that would be great. And I will have another video posted in a week or so. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. Happy reading.